want to talk a little bit to the person listening who feels like I can't tell my story or I can't change my story because it's going to be a betrayal. Transformation hurts. It hurts when we transform, but really one of the parts we don't talk about is it can feel like we're hurting all the people who raised us when we start to be different. And so I was given a talk one time, Anthony, at this conference. I'm up on stage, I'm like really fired up and I'm going and I'm talking about, there's this saying that says, just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she became a butterfly. And it's supposed to be like so inspirational. But all I've ever been able to think when I hear that is, I bet it hurts the caterpillar. And I started giving this like really, just like loud explanation of the X-Men version of that. These feathers protruding out of raw, broken skin, scratching and clawing at the surface as you shed these layers. This literal stabbing of your own back just to fulfill a propensity to fly. And I give this whole picture and we end the talk. And the sound guy, who ironically was called Mike, comes up and he says, that's not actually how caterpillars become butterflies. And I'm like, there goes my analogy.
Right.
And what he said was, what actually happens is that when a caterpillar is going to become something new, when they go into that cocoon, that chrysalis, they actually have to disintegrate entirely. If you cut open a chrysalis, all you would find is caterpillar soup.
Yeah.
And we completely become this death to our old self before the thrill of hope takes flight. And I thought about that, and that is like this breaking down to become a new thing. But if you look at butterflies, they keep some of the same coloring. They stay in some of the places that they were a caterpillar. There's this mental memory of who they were. You get to become both roots and wings. And so it's embracing this idea that you becoming something different in your family, you can leave a place without saying there was something wrong with it. You can ask for more without saying there was something lacking. So that would be my number 3.
Mary, thank you so much for coming on the table. You didn't actually come to the table, but you came on the table. So next time we'll have to get you at the table where you can have some of my sweet tea and lemonade. I have some sweet.
I didn't know I was missing that.
Yeah. My producer wanted me to have it in my cup because it looked like beer. So, we had to put it in here. We don't want people thinking to have beer. And then when you come back, wait, I got to get it. Then you gotta try my favorite candy. Everyone who comes onto the table has to try my favorite candy in the world, licorice, you guys, licorice. I love this place.
So it's red vines, not Twizzlers? What's the other thing?
It's called red vines, but I grew up calling it licorice. So,
Okay.
So I call it, from the old school days. That's my damnest truth. But Mary, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for coming on to the show. Hey, you guys, make sure to check out the show notes and you'll get a link to her book. You get a link to her podcast and to her social media channels. She'll bless you. Mary, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really want to end with this, you guys. I remember coming home to my lights being cut off. I remember having to eat Hamburger Helper 2 or 3 times a week. I remember having to put my shoes and put tape on the bottom of my shoes because I had holes on the bottom of my shoes. I remember the tough times growing up. I remember sharing my bedroom with my brother and my sister because we had a family of 6. My parents was in one room. Me and my siblings were in one room. And then we cared for my elderly grandmother at the time. She had her own room. So I remember the tough times growing up. And honestly, back then, that wasn't tough. It was normal. And that normal grew into my expectations. And then I had to really quickly remind myself that, hey, back then, that's what I had to do. But that doesn't have to be my future. And that's one thing that I really, really love about what Mary said. Change the lens that you see life through. Change the lens that you see yourself through. And here's the lens we all should be looking at. Jesus Christ. I know you're not coming to the table to be preached at, but you know what? Your boy is a preacher. I'm a man of God at heart. I'm not perfect. I got flaws. I have sins that I'm working on, but you're going to get the word from me in some kind of way. And the only lens that we should be judging ourselves through is through the lens of Jesus Christ. His lens wants us to be free, have joy, have peace, have freedom, have financial freedom, have a wealthy life, have a prosperous life. His lens are the only lens we should be looking at ourselves through. Yo, this your boy, Anthony O'Neill. And don't forget, I keep it real, relevant, and relatable every single week right here at the table. Peace out.